What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another Tottenham update, a day of incomings and outgoings all across the Premier League, but especially at Tottenham Hotspur. But before we get into that, we're going to get on to confirmed news from Tottenham Hotspur. They have confirmed the news that Ben Davies has signed on for an extra year, which is going to take his time at Tottenham to 13 years. Well, he's going to enter his 13th season as a Tottenham player. They say, we are delighted to announce that Ben Davies has signed a new contract at the club, an incredible servant to our football club. Ben has made 363 appearances for us and was a Europa League winner in 2025 and now enter his 13th season as a Spurs player. He said on the website, Tottenham Hotspur really feels like home. It's a huge part of my football journey, and I'm grateful what the club has given me so far in my career. It's been difficult over the past few months, not being able to help the team on the pitch in some tough moments due to injury. So I tried to help the boys off it as much as I could, being a voice in the dressing room and around the group, contributing in any way I could. My heart's on my sleeve for this club, and I'll give everything for it. So great words there from Ben Davies. And yeah, look, I've seen a lot of, conflicting opinions on Ben Davies online. But for me, I don't have a problem with this whatsoever. I think Ali Gold suggested that he's potentially going to be continuing working in his coaching badges and maybe moving into a coaching role after his contract ends. So look, I've got no problem with it.
I don't have a problem with it per se. What I would say is again, we're extending his contract when for me, he's surplus to requirements. That's just how I feel. I don't think he should be part of the playing squad. But if he wants to stay around, getting his coaching badges, not really playing too much, and he's a very good influence in the dressing room, I don't doubt having people like Ben Davies around the dressing room. People really know the club. He's been here a long time, especially for either new signings or just to keep squad harmony and keep up, standards of players who really appreciate the club. Then I'm fine with it as well. I don't have a problem with it. Obviously, Ben Davies has been a very loyal servant to the club for many, many years, and I appreciate all the years that he's given to Tottenham. And if they want to give him another year and kind of maybe transition into a coaching role, I don't know if that's how it is, or is he going to play somewhere else before he retires, but then maybe comes back to Tottenham for coaching? We'll have to wait and see. That's fine. But if we're the only problem I'd have is if we are extending his contract and seeing him as a viable squad option in 2026, and he's taking up a squad space, and we don't. I mean, to be fair, looks like we've got the defense done anyway. If we can get Van Hecker, and then I don't know, we've got Robertson through the door. Senesi's about to be confirmed. So, I mean, on that front, I think in terms of him taking a squad space, our defense is pretty solid anyway. I just hope we don't sell like a doggy or something and then say, "Oh, Davies is our backup left back." I hope nothing like that happens. But other than that, yeah, I'm pretty okay with it.
Yeah, look, I don't think that's going to happen. And when you're looking at those options that you mentioned, the Doggy and Robertson left back, Senesi and Van de Ven left centre back, like the only way Ben Davies is going to play is if we go through a major injury crisis. That's the only way he's going to play. And to have that kind of fullback option is not the end of the world. It's not like he was terrible at the beginning of last season when he played. I still think he can provide a value. Yeah, look, in ideal world, he is surplus to requirements, but to have that fullback option and that, extreme backup option is not the worst thing in the world. And yeah, look, he's been a brilliant servant to the club. He's always been, I don't think he's ever been maybe respected as enough for being such a loyal servant, and for when stepping in, I think he's done fairly well over the last couple of years. So yeah, congratulations to him for extending for another year, but I fully expect him just to continue doing these coaching badges and to maybe take up a coaching role next season. And I think that would be great to have someone in and around the coaching staff that's been at Spurs for so long as well.
You think he retires next year?
Yeah, I got a feeling he might do. 34 years of age.
I mean, 34, it's old, but I guess he could retire, but it's not. I mean, it depends how much football he still feels like he's got left. The only thing I would say is he had a very serious injury, didn't he, last year when against Sunderland, which obviously ruled him out for a long time. So it's about how his body has recovered from it. And that's going to determine whether he feels like he's got a career at the top level. And if he thinks maybe he doesn't, does he want to drop down to the Championship? Does he want to do that? Or does he want to move on with his career and go to the next step? I think obviously he's going to be a very good coach, or he's going to be a coach, that's for sure. Well, very good one will have to be seen. But he's a very knowledgeable, he's a very smart guy. I think a lot of people have a lot of hopes for him as a coach. So I hope he does that development at Tottenham, and it's going to be very interesting to see how that career develops. Yeah, I don't know if he'll retire next year. We'll see. It'll be an interesting one.
Maybe he'll go spend one more year outside in Los Angeles with Sonny for 1 year.
Yeah, or maybe back to Swansea. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, could be either. But, I think he always knows that he's got a coaching role here at Tottenham with the years of service that he's given, and he's doing his badges here as well. Let's get on to these incomings and the outgoings. And Yves Bissouma has been released from the club. The club have confirmed the departure of Yves Bissouma at the conclusion of his contract. Spurs thank him for his service and wished him all the best for the future. There was an option in his contract to extend it for a further year, which Spurs have decided against. And, maybe in yesteryear, maybe under Daniel Levy, Spurs maybe would have triggered that option to try get a bit of money for him in January or now. But Spurs have cut their losses. Maybe it's just, a bit too much has happened with Yves Bissouma. He's definitely provided his worth and values at certain points in his Tottenham career, but it was just too much controversy, too much, with Balloon Gate and the suspensions and coming late to training under multiple managers. The reality was we brought him in from Brighton thinking we've got one of the best midfielders in the Premier League. First 10 games under Ange and the Europa League run, the semi-final and final, were the only real consistent moments we got out of him.
Yeah, I think, all the other stuff, Balloon Gate and all that kind of stuff, yeah, that's bad. But the real reason is the inconsistency, his performances on the pitch. As long as his performances weren't top level on a consistent basis, it was hard to justify his place in the squad. I think we've all seen with Bissouma that at times he was phenomenal and at times he was a great player, but we just didn't see him at the very top of his game on enough occasions. That is the barefaced truth of the matter. So I think obviously maybe if Balloon Gate and all this kind of stuff didn't happen, maybe he wouldn't be going on a free. Maybe people would be, looking to get him in. But that's obviously really harmed his reputation, and people maybe look at that and think, do we really want to touch him? Do we really want someone right out in the squad? You start to question his mentality when that kind of stuff happens. So, yeah, when it comes to Yves Bissouma and his time at Tottenham, how he remembered, I think, yeah, I agree. Unfortunately, the reality is with him, it's just the performances on the pitches haven't been to the standard on a consistent basis. That's been the reality. I think he set himself a very high bar with those 10 games under Ange, especially all his first season was a bit of a disaster, wasn't it, under Conte? He didn't trust him and for whatever reason, so he never barely played. Then he set himself a very high standard those first 10 games and never quite reached those standards again. And even when he had okay performances, they're always compared to those performances under Ange. And I felt like at the end of the day, we never got to see the best of Bissouma on a consistent enough basis. And then you add in the other stuff surrounding outside of the pitch, and then that's led to this situation where clubs aren't even willing to spend any money on him. I think if those things didn't exist, I think we probably could have got a bit of money for him. But unfortunately, that's the reason why we're being letting him on a free. So it's a shame how it's all turned out, because I think there's a real quality player in there. And I don't know if it's a mentality issue or what the issue is with him, but you just got the feeling if we could have got that best Bissouma on consistently, then we saw it. He was one of the best midfielders in the league on his day, but unfortunately, that day was nowhere near frequent enough. So it's a shame. I think it's the right decision. I think there's no point hanging on to him anymore. If there aren't any offers, I think just let him get on with his career, find a new club by himself, because clearly we've been lacking. We've been trying to sell him, haven't we, for a while now, and it hasn't quite happened. So at this point, there's no point just worrying about getting. I think we should be getting some money in from other players anyway. So I wish him all the best, but it's just a shame. It's a shame how it's all turned out with Yves Bissouma. There was so much excitement. I remember the shock. We were like, "How? I can't believe we've got him." There were rumours of Arsenal and Chelsea even at the time. They're like, "Wow, he's come to Tottenham." Couldn't believe it at the time, but hasn't turned out in the way we'd hoped.
Yeah, it is very unfortunate, and I like his kind of, camaraderie. When you see him in the videos around the dressing room, he always seems to be the life of the party, and everyone remembers all the videos on the bus and in the changing rooms after the games and stuff like that, always blaring his music and stuff. So I think at times he was a good influence in the dressing room, and then at times he was probably a really bad influence on the dressing room with his unprofessionalism at times. So yeah, look, it's been coming for a long time, Bissouma leaving the club. I'm glad it's finally happened, but no ill feeling towards him whatsoever. I wish him the best for his future and whatever the next step in his career. And I thank him mainly for the Europa League run, because in that semi-final and that final, he was absolutely fantastic, and he turned up for us when it really mattered in those two massive games against Bodo Glimt and against Manchester United. But yeah, I mean, apart from that, he's not been a great player for us. Let's put it that way. In terms of other exits, there's been academy exits. So the under-21s: Pele, Argnazzi McDermott, Tyrell Ashcroft, Leo Black, Dante Casanova, Matthew Craig, and Callum Logan have left from the under-21s. Dante Casanova obviously was very highly rated in that under-21 side that won the double that year, and Matthew Craig as well, been at the club for quite some time. In the under-18s, James Beggs, Samuel Bangura, Leon Maitaj, as well as Elijah Upson, which is interesting. Elijah Upson is Matthew Upson's son, and he was actually offered a new contract, but he rejected it. And there's rumours that he could be potentially going to Arsenal now.
Well, I think Upson came through the Arsenal Academy, didn't he, Matthew Upson? So maybe they've got linked there. Yeah, that's not great news to hear. Obviously, wish all the youngsters all the best in their career. There are a few talented players who reportedly, I know Windy was upset with losing a couple of them, but we have a lot of talent at our club as well. There's a lot of talent. Hopefully, we're hoping have got first team futures here. So let's just hope we make use of the most of them. I think we're starting to see some of the fruits of the labour of the long-term vision of having the training ground and the work in the academy, because I think we are bringing in a lot of talented youngsters. Unfortunately, not everyone can make it, so I wish them all the best.
Yeah, I was quite surprised that Casanova has left, because I think he's been doing quite well for the under-21s, but look, it is what it is. They made the decision, and let's hope it doesn't come back to bite them in the arse. We'll see how they progress in their career.
Well, listen, just a quick one on that. Obviously, you don't have. It's just a bit of a separate story, but on the academy, Natalie Sawyer was saying that Tottenham had the chance to get Olise before he went to Reading as part of the academy, and they said they turned him down because of an attitude problem they thought he had. And they allowed him to go to Reading, and then look at the player he is now. So just goes to show that sometimes we don't make the best decisions when it comes to the academy.
Yeah, well, just look at Harry Kane. Arsenal just let him go as well. So, it's very hard to know at a very young age how high you're going to go in the game, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So, last but not least, let's talk about Savinho, because there was a report yesterday from Jamie Jackson. I believe he's of The Guardian. Is that right?
Yeah, he's a Manchester correspondent for The Guardian.
Yeah, for The Guardian. And he says Manchester City are yet to hear from Tottenham regarding Savinho, and that's obviously conflicting reports from Fabrizio Romano and SZY. So what do you make out of that?
I mean, it seems to be conflicting reports from everyone. I just read a report on the Evening Standard saying that talks are advancing with Man City over the deal. So I don't know where this has come from. I'm trying to figure out why that news, he'd be post that news. Obviously, he's heard that. I don't think he's making it up. But why are they putting that out there? Is it the case that the deal at the moment is going through intermediaries, and there isn't any official kind of talks at the moment between the club and Tottenham, Man City and Tottenham over the deal. But I don't believe that. I mean, apparently they're discussing a fee. So I find it very hard to believe that Tottenham and Man City are not in any negotiations at the moment regarding Savinho. The only thing I can think of is maybe the talks at the moment have been between Savinho and Tottenham about agreeing personal terms, making sure he wants to come. Then they're going to go to Man City and try and agree the fee. But I mean, that's not really what we've heard. What we've heard is that those things have been done. You know, Savinho's willing to come to Tottenham. It seems as though that's not a problem. It's about agreeing the fee of Man City is a stumbling block at the moment for this deal. That's what it seems. So I'd be very shocked if that is true. There's been no contact between City and Tottenham at all about this deal, unless they're just talking about there's no official bid, and there's just been negotiations and then we haven't submitted an official bid. Maybe that's what he's saying, but I find that hard to believe. But then why would he post that? I don't really understand. Unless we've all jumped the gun and we haven't actually started negotiations yet. I don't know.
But didn't Fabrizio Romano literally say that Spurs and City are in advanced talks, and then he's sending the emojis out the other day as well? And I don't buy it, man. I think this deal will get done. I really do. So we'll see how it progresses over the next day or two. Maybe we'll hear more about it later today. But that is the latest report. Jamie Jackson saying Man City are yet to hear from Tottenham on Savinho. So
there was one today from Mr. Dom Smith on the Standard says Savinho seeks assurances as 60 million Tottenham talks continue. That was from the Evening Standard. That was an hour ago.
Game time assurances?
Sorry?
Game time assurances.
Yes, Savinho is seeking more first-team football next season as talks continue over a move to Tottenham. Says, but the Evening Standard reported last month Spurs are back in for the winger. Spurs have revived their interest, expected that the fee in the region of 60 million would be required if the move would to materialise. Any deal would include add-ons and bonuses. And then, not much else after that.
So they're reporting Spurs and Tottenham are in Spurs and Man City are in negotiations. Romano's reporting Spurs and Man City are in negotiations. So, look, I firmly believe the two clubs are locked in negotiations and will come to a conclusion sooner rather than later.
Who benefits from this story coming out that they're not in negotiations? Is it maybe I don't know who it benefits. I'm trying to figure out why this story has come about.
The thing is with this, I've only seen it aggregated on Spurs accounts. Have you seen the actual report on what he's actually said?
Yeah, I saw he tweeted it. He tweeted it himself. I saw it.
Did he say anything apart from that? Did he elaborate on it at all?
What's his name?
Jamie Jackson.
Jamie Jackson. He tweeted yesterday. Where is it? God, he tweets a lot of political stuff. Anyway, moving on. Where was it? Trying to find it. He tweets a lot, apparently.
Has he deleted it?
Can't see it now. Yeah, he just tweeted literally one line, one sentence. City yet to hear from Spurs on Savinho. That's all he said.
Very peculiar. Very peculiar. Does he tweet a lot of football stuff, or is it all mainly politics stuff?
No, he's a football correspondent, but he has been tweeting a lot of political stuff recently, I can see. But yeah, no, he's a football journalist. He's a football correspondent for The Guardian.
It's all very peculiar.
But he's usually very reliable when it comes to Man City and Man United news. He's usually pretty reliable. So it's very odd for him to say that if there is no truth to it. The only thing I can think of is no official bid, but I'd be surprised if there hasn't been any communication whatsoever. I'll be shocked if that's the truth.
Well, all the truths will be revealed very, very soon regarding Tottenham and Savinho, whether it goes ahead or doesn't go ahead. And you do expect it to get to some sort of conclusion pretty soon. I don't think this is going to be one that rumbles till the end of the window, surely.
Here we go today.
Yeah, today. It's coming today. I feel it. I feel it. Yeah, but that's it. That's all we have for you today. I want to thank you all for joining us today. Hopefully some more updates coming. We wish Bissouma the best of luck and best wishes for the future. And congratulations to Ben Davies to signing that contract as well. So let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.